Throughout the Baby Einstein series, there have been many toys without a single trace of them outside of being featured in a video, which isn't much of a surprise considering there are over 1,000 of them throughout the videos. As shown in the first video of this miniseries, some of these have been found after long searches, while others remain lost. Today, we're going to go over the top 25 lost Baby Einstein toys that, as of making this video, do not have a single trace of them outside the series. We'll also be going over the major leads behind these searches in progress and what we can do to find these toys. These will generally be ordered from toys with the least amount of info to ones with the most to say about their searches. Please note that the definition of Unfound we'll be going off of in this video is a toy or other object that does not have a single picture or video of it in exact form outside the series. Also note that not every Unfound toy will be in this video, as there are countless toys and props that aren't significant enough to have any sort of search for them, along with some toys that are only unfound due to extremely small differences. We chose which toys to include based on these factors. With all that said, let's begin.
First up are the Windchimes Language 2004, which may be the most unremarkable entry on this list, considering the fact that absolutely nothing is known about it, and that doesn't really stand out. It's not credited in the toy chest, and there are no significant leads on it, other than a couple slightly similar ones that come by putting the image into Google Lens. Considering the lack of any identifiable features of it, the only ways I could ever see it's being found are if Google Lens can successfully identify it at some point, or if it's found by pure chance while looking for something else on sites like Wayback Machine or Facebook.
The 24-inch star cutout fountain from Baby Galileo is a toy without much of a story behind it. Baby Einstein credits Party Deco as the brand, which is correct, as their archived website has some similar centerpieces on it, which use the same stars. Unfortunately, the exact fountain is not saved, and other similar fountains available have significant differences. If this were to be found, a secondary source for Party Deco products would have to be discovered, presumably on the Wayback Machine.
Next is the Purple Paradise Ornament from Baby Santa 2004, a toy that has a pretty decent amount of information on it, but is still unfound. It's listed as being by Inglass in the toy chest, but per their archived website, their actual Purple Paradise ornament is of a bird. No similar ornaments are anywhere else on their site, so this brings some questions as to whether or not this ornament is even by Inglass. Some similar ornaments are found, but the exact still remains unseen. All similar ornaments have minor to significant differences, with most having a more matte pattern compared to the glossy finish in the video. Still, they do closely resemble it, and at least one of them is likely closely related to it. Unfortunately, none of them credit any other possible manufacturer. For this ornament to be found, it pretty much boils down to continuing to search eBay for similar ornaments, hoping the exact one shows up at some point.
The Frost Chickadee ornament from Baby Santa 2004 is yet another toy with next to nothing known about it. It's listed as Department 56 on the toy chest, but Department 56 products are extremely well archived and nothing remotely close to it by them has been seen, and it is not on their website. With no leads of any kind, the only ways this toy will likely ever be found are by continuing to search eBay for it, using searches that guess some of the ornament's features, such as material, which may be resin or glass, and the wings, which appear to be made of metal. It could also be worth looking into more archived websites with Department 56 merchandise on them, but this may prove pointless as it's unknown what brand it exactly is.
The bead curtain from Lullaby Time is mostly only unfound due to not being credited in the toy chest. A few similar models are available for purchase on various websites, but they are much larger and with some significant differences. This same non-exact version is also in a Funworks catalog, a Canadian novelty company, which I found on Wayback Machine in 2018. In one of their other catalogs, a model with the same string and bead length is seen, however it features full circles instead of the exact one with the cut in the middle. It's likely that Funworks did distribute it, and had it in one of their other unarchived catalogs, but as Funworks is only a distributor, the curtain also has an original manufacturer, and it can be found through that source as well. If this is ever found, it will almost certainly be from one of these methods, either through its uncovered Funworks catalog, or a manufacturer or secondary distributor.
The Japanese mobile from Baby Santa is another toy with little to no information about it, and it's likely that it's a handmade item with very few ever made. Some similar mobiles were recently found, usually listed with the keywords Japanese geisha mobile, suggesting that this one is likely related to them, being a handmade product albeit with more than one of them made. This remains to be seen though, as so far none that are extremely similar, nor the exact one itself, have been found. To find it, this lead will need to be expanded upon and looked into further.
Up next is the Snowman Ornament from the original version of Baby Santa, which is one of the few unfound toys left to still have no information known about it whatsoever. Nothing similar has ever been seen, and it was never properly credited as it was replaced in the 2004 version, and the 2000 version never had a toy chest. There are some things to note about it, mainly its teardrop or pear shape, and the fact that it's almost certainly made of glass. That's it though, as no leads or similarities have been found for it. The most realistic way to find this is just to continue checking various searches for snowman ornaments on eBay, as this has proven to find other unfound ornaments in the past.
Continuing the run of Baby Santa toys, the strangely specifically named Snowman number 955109 and number 955125 from the 2004 version of the video don't have very much known about them. In the toy chest, they were listed under a generic Christmas brand named TJ Mitchell Company, also known as TJ's Christmas, which certainly helps explain why they are lost. There are dozens upon dozens of other similar snowmen made by TJ Mitchell, judging by the model numbers. This is proven further with these pictures of a TJ Mitchell store display that I recently found, which shows many similar snowman plush, but neither of the exact two seem to be in there. There is also an archive page for one of their representatives' websites that Jagger found, showing some other similar looking snowmen, once again missing either of the models from the video. To find them, an external distributor for TJ Mitchell Christmas products will likely have to be found, or they will have to show up for sale secondhand.
Next is the Boy with Hat Wooden Mobile from Baby Da Vinci, a toy which is somewhat close to being found, at least compared to the others on this list. Many similar ones have been seen, but never the exact color and model, as all of them have slightly different facial features and colors. The only image of one from Petra Toys themselves, the brand credited, is one of a different color, being red and green as opposed to green and yellow. I'm unsure if Petra modified theirs at all from whoever the original Czech manufacturer was, but I've searched through tons of Czech toy websites, and despite many close models showing up, I've never seen one that exactly matches up, even in a different color. To find this, it will either have to show up on any buying site like eBay, or from some source of Czech toys. It could also be found by gaining access to Petra Toys catalogs from around 2004, but this is extremely unlikely, and it might not be the same exact color anyways.
Up next is the fairy wind chime from Baby Star's Moves, one of the 4 products credited as being by Hobby Lobby that remain unfound. Next to nothing is known about this, and although it was almost certainly sold at Hobby Lobby, they did not manufacture their items themselves, and instead imported them. This means that the item has an original manufacturer that is currently unknown, and finding that manufacturer is our most likely way of ever making this found. One vaguely similar beaded wind chime was seen with a Hobby Lobby tag, however this doesn't really give us any additional info. The wind chime almost certainly has a forest theme, as the bottom part cut off seems to be a mushroom. However, there are still no significant leads for this. If it is ever found, its original manufacturer will have to somehow be found, which is a lot easier said than done as there's no basis to go off of. It could also be found by checking eBay and Facebook for searches like fairy, forest, and mushroom chimes.
Next are the floating candles from the original version of Baby Mozart, and these have basically nothing known about them. On August 30th, 2018, I found a Baby Mozart toy table on the archived Baby Einstein website from around 1999, which states where Julie Agner Clark bought each toy that appeared in the video. Among many other interesting toys for toys in the video, it's stated that the candles were bought at the now defunct home decor store, Pier 1 Imports. While this was great to know, there were and still are no Pier 1 product archives from 25 years ago, so this lead was mostly a dead end. A handful of similar candles to the various models used were found, but they were not it, nor did they have any Pier 1 branding. These are extremely unlikely to be found anytime soon, as any candles from a quarter-century ago would have obviously been used and burnt down by now. The only way I can see these being found is through new old stock of Pier 1 products from the late 1990s, but even that is extremely unlikely, and it may not cover all the separate designs used in the video.
The Liquid Crystal Ball from Baby Newton is a toy by Schilling which, unlike most other toys by the manufacturer, has fallen under the radar and remains unfound. It was mentioned on Schilling's website, but the photo that appeared of it was of a red version, and this image no longer loads on the archive site itself. It may have also been mentioned in a newspaper article from 2000, but it's unknown if this is the correct product as it's not visible in the picture. Enthusiast Cameron C. claims to have once had the toy when he was young, but this cannot be proven or disproven as he does not have a picture of it. Finding this toy may be difficult as all of the liquid inside would have evaporated by now, so our best chances to find this would be a website on the Wayback Machine that sold Schilling products, or an old photo of one on a website like Flickr.
Next is the small whirling turtle from Baby Beethoven, which remains unfound despite the large version being found and owned. There are actually 2 different versions of this used in the video, one green in color and one more yellow. It's unknown if they were sold separately, or just two different versions that would be selected at random when the toy was being sold. It's credited as being by Nova Natural, and although a large turtle was originally found on their archive website, the small rolling turtle does not have its image saved. When I got the large rolling turtle, there was a sticker on the bottom saying Kinderkram Spielzug, which is interesting as it was also mentioned on my Flying Goose mobile, and both toys are credited as being by Nova Natural. This leads me to conclude that Nova Natural distributed toys originally made by Kinderkram, who are a German toy company. No major sources for Kinderkram toys have been found yet, as their archive website doesn't have much on it, but some of their products are available on various European secondhand sites, most notably this rolling hedgehog, which is mentioned on Nova Natural's website. Compared to a lot of toys in this video, I could see this being found pretty soon. The most likely ways to find it would be to find a different source for either Nova Natural or Kinderkram on Wayback Machine, or if it shows up for sale in Europe.
Up next is the Bryn Brown Bear puppet from Baby Santa 2004, a toy which I'm somewhat surprised to see still unfound. The brand credited for it, Platte River Trading, has a website that seems to be mostly for distributors, with any product links locked off. Similar bear products by them have been found, but not this puppet. It also goes without saying that the Santa hat was added on to make it Christmas related, and it will not come with the actual puppet. It's also worth noting that Platte River Trading and Plush Creations, who made toys like the bee and caterpillar glove puppets, shared and distributed many of the same products, but it is unlikely that Plush Creations ever distributed this one, as some features of it don't really match up with their other products. Although this toy continues to surprisingly elude us, it could be found by finding a secondary source for Platte River Trading products on Wayback Machine, as well as continuing to keep tabs on searches for their products online.
Next is the Super Yoyo Laser Top, or Magic Laser Pull-A-String Spinner from Baby Bingo 2004, which despite being a fairly obscure toy, has some decent information on it. The brand credited for it, Toy Quest, is a division of the company Manly Toy, which has a few different archive websites, one of which does have some somewhat similar novelty products, including many other interesting items. Around May 2022, a spinning top lot was found on eBay, which seemingly didn't have anything all that interesting. However, it turns out that the orange version of the top was almost certainly in there, as at the time it was hard to tell what it was due to the bad angle. Shortly after this, I put the image of the top into Google Lens, and found that the correct brand is likely Galax Toys, a Chinese manufacturer. The listing in question shows the same top in pink, orange, and purple, but not red. The orange version is of course what was in the spinning top lot mentioned before. They also appear to have other similar tops, but once again with none in the red color. It's unknown if Galax themselves ever made the top in the red color, or if a US distributor picked it up from them and custom ordered it in different colors, including red. This could possibly be found by looking through various novelty websites on the Wayback Machine, but at this point most of them have already been seen. It could also be found by finding a secondary source for Galax toys, such as the US distributor. And of course, it could appear on a spinning top lot on eBay, just like the orange version did.
For a long time, the Harmony doll from the original version of Language Nursery didn't have much known about it due to its generic look, lack of a manufacturer being credited in the toy chest, and the fact that nobody really wanted to spend a ton of time looking for a doll. On February 11th, 2023, using some help from doll enthusiasts on Reddit, Noah found a line of dolls titled Baby Dreamland by Mattel from 1994 that were a near exact match to the Harmony doll. These dolls were custom made, each with their own name embroidered to the clothing along with slightly different designs, meaning the exact doll could easily be a one-of-a-kind item. Due to this, it's unlikely that the exact doll will ever be found, as the doll was likely custom made for Aspen when she was young. While other Baby Dreamland dolls may appear on eBay, some even with the same or extremely similar designs, it's almost guaranteed the exact Harmony doll will never be seen.
Next are the Woolly Sheep from Numbers Nursery, a toy that's somewhere between having a significant amount of information on it and having next to none. Around 2017, I vividly remember seeing it in Westminster Inc.'s 2002-2003 catalog, which only has some pages saved on their archive website. Unfortunately, I can't prove or disprove this, as that catalog is still not saved in full, and I could simply be misremembering. Around a year later, I contacted Westminster about the product, wondering if they had any additional product catalogs saved. Well, someone did inform me they would check on it. It has been 7 years since that, so I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that's a dead end. They almost certainly made the toy, as there are NA leads for other different companies, but it has no appearances in catalogs that we can fully trace back. Only the black and white one has ever shown up under IY or Charm, not Westminster. It's unknown if it could have been distributed under a different brand than Westminster, as many other models with similar battery-operated animals have been seen in other neon colors, many on adaptive toy websites. It's unknown exactly what company these neon animals similar to sheep are made by, but Westminster does have the neon baby elephant in their catalog, and others are made by Jamina, who are certainly a possibility for making woolly sheep. The most likely way for this toy to be found is through an archived product listing or catalog, with Westminster being the most likely, but something like Jamina or an adaptive toy website also being a possibility.
The pinwheel from Language Nursery and Baby Mozart had next to nothing known about it, considering its generic design and it not having a manufacturer credit for it. The previously mentioned Baby Mozart toy table states that the pinwheel was bought in an IKEA store. Currently, there isn't really any way to view IKEA products from over 25 years ago, so unless a catalog or website with their vintage items can be found, this is likely a dead end, although it does help knowing where it was originally purchased. Some similar ones have been seen secondhand, most notably this large one on Facebook Marketplace with extremely similar petals I found in February of this year, but the exact one remains unfound. What makes this listing so notable is that it's the only one ever found to have the 3 blue tinted petals, one each of teal, blue, and navy, making it almost a guarantee that it is closely related. However, it does have a few differences, as the orange and green petals appear to be different colors, and the petals appear to be too large in relation to the middle wooden circle. It is still by far the closest one ever seen, and gives some hope that this may be found. To find this toy, paying attention to the petal colors, which seem to be unique to this one and almost impossible to find on any other pinwheels, is the most important aspect to note, as it's what sets it apart from the thousands of other pinwheels elsewhere. It may show up on a secondhand site such as Facebook Marketplace, just like the non-exact one, or the IKEA lead may turn up something significant.
For a toy that once had absolutely nothing known about it, the Singing Swaying Flower from Baby Back 2004 has a pretty large amount of information about it now. In August 2018, I somehow got it from a thrift store, but it had some color and design differences and the tag was rubbed off so we weren't able to find the manufacturer. Despite these differences, it was clear this was from the same series as the exact flower, as the face and general design were the same. Later in 2018, a page for them was found on the archived website of Parkdale Novelty, but none were exact and nothing else ever came of this lead. Then, in November 2019, a sold eBay listing was found by George that was much closer in color than mine, and through it the brand was revealed to be Toys by Tiffany. Most of their products are very obscure, and although their website works, little to no images are archived. Their website does confirm the official name, though, which is Singing Swaying Flower, as does the website of one of their representatives. Unfortunately, neither reviews have their images archived, but the second does mention the color and design combinations available. After this, a couple more listings were found, one from the secondhand site Garage Sale, and another bought by Nathan Scons on eBay, which did have the exact petal shape as well as the tag, but so far none with the exact color and shape have been seen. For the exact to be found, search terms for it on eBay, notably Toys by Tiffany, will have to be monitored. That, or a different source on the Wayback Machine for Toys by Tiffany products will have to be found.
The Unknown Hammer game, sometimes referred to as Spiel from Baby Newton 2004, is a very mysterious toy that went uncredited, and remains unfound because of it. Of course, it's not listed in the Baby Newton 2004 toy chest, and as for the title of Spiel, it was given by someone in the community. I have no idea when or why this title was first coined. It was assumed to be Heroes, but they never made a product called Spiel that we know of, and other results for the name are not the exact one. One thing worth noting is that no nails are visible in the toy, as opposed to the original version by Heroes. This begs the question of whether or not this is actually a hammer and nails game like the original, as it's equally possible it still is, and that Disney decided the nails looked bad on the toy and just placed the pieces on the board, or that it's something like a magnetic shape set. Neither of these theories have anything to back them up, but there's nothing else we can go off of considering how obscure this toy is. No significant leads or brands or similar products have been found as of now, but I do highly suspect that it's from a European brand, although almost certainly not by Heroes. As unlikely as it may be, if this toy is ever found, it will likely be found on a European secondhand site, as these types of toys are common to see in Europe. Searches for both hammer and nail games and magnetic games will have to be looked through to find it. Of course, it could also be found entirely by accident while digging through the Wayback Machine, similar to the Push-Along Dancing Teddy from Baby Shakespeare 2004, which was also a 2004 placement that wasn't credited, but this is even more unlikely.
We now move on to a set of 3 toys which are very closely related, the 3 wind spinners from Baby Monet. All of them are credited as being from Hobby Lobby, and remain unfound largely due to the fact that Hobby Lobby did not archive their seasonal merchandise, and that their original manufacturer has not been found, as Hobby Lobby imported the merchandise from other companies. First is the Flower Ladybugs, which is the closest of the three to being found, with an extremely close match to it recently being found. Not much was known about this until January 2023, when I discovered much of my search activity from previous years had been saved in Google's My Activity, and was looking through it to see what I could find. I stumbled upon a search for Windrad Bloom, a German search that translates to flower wind spinner, and searched it up again to see what would come up. After a bit of scrolling, a website came up that appeared to be the exact spinner. On the left was one styled like the Hummingbird lawn flower, also from Monet, with two pieces on opposite sides of the flower. On the right was one with the same style as this Ladybug one, with 5 pieces in the middle of the flower, as well as a secondary flower piece in the middle. While this is by far the closest lead out of the 3 Baby Monet spinners, there are a few differences. The middle flower is colored orange instead of pink, the Ladybug design is slightly different with more extended wings, and it's hard to tell, but I believe the bottom leaves are a bit different as well. Regardless, this is still extremely close, and what's even crazier is that this was for sale, albeit only in Germany. After recently contacting the company to see if it was still available, they informed me they only had one left and would not ship it due to it only being one item. Currently, I'm awaiting a reply as to whether or not they have any additional info on the flower. It's debatable as to whether or not this is found, but there are a bit too many differences for me to fully consider the search complete. Nonetheless, this significant lead could help in finding both the exact one and possibly the other 2 spinners from Monet. To take this search further, I'll continue to communicate with the German store that sold it in hopes of getting more information on it. The leads for the other 2 spinners coming up could also potentially tie back in to help find this.
Next is the Flower Hummingbirds, the second of the 3 Monet spinners that remain unfound. Many similar pink flower spinners were found, but none were all that closely exact, nor had any spinner with the hummingbird showed in it been seen. When the Ladybug spinner was almost found, the design shown with it closely resembled the spinner, being the same flower design with 2 pieces of garden animals on opposite sides. Unfortunately, this did not lead to anything, and wasn't the main focus of that image being found. Earlier this year, another very similar pink flower spinner was found by Noah through Google Lens. However, it had butterflies on it instead of hummingbirds. It was from a Chinese wholesale site, and although plenty of digging through the company was done, not much else was found out of it, other than the slightly different image of it. It's still unknown as if this company was indeed behind the hummingbird spinner, let alone the other 2, as whoever made the one spinner almost certainly made the rest. To find this, more information on the Chinese manufacturer will have to be found, likely through a separate archived website. The leads for the other spinners could also tie back to this to help find it.
The final Baby Monet spinner is the long Dragonfly pinwheel, which stands out a bit compared to the 2 flower spinners, and may be the toy I want to find the most, considering how much I've put into searching for it. Nothing was done about it until 2018, when an extremely similar bee spinner was found on an Amazon listing. The brand was listed as Spoontiques, and their archive website did feature many spinners. However, neither the Dragonfly, bee, or anything else similar was shown. The search went dormant for almost 6 years, until early 2024, when after Google Lensing a picture of the bee spinner, I found a Facebook Marketplace listing for it. This listing was in South Africa, and the seller had a few more spinners along with it, including a previously undiscovered Ladybug one, styled just like the Dragonfly and bee, with an insect holding a flower. Although I wasn't even going to attempt to get it, I wanted to message the seller to see if he possibly had any more info on the spinners, which he unfortunately did not, other than him buying the spinners many years ago. Strangely enough, I found another appearance of the bee in South Africa a couple weeks later, this one being from a store which gave us a glimpse of the packaging. Once again, I contacted the store's page, seeking more info, which they unfortunately were not able to provide. A little while later, I did some deep digging on Baidu, a Chinese search engine, for all 3 of the bee, Dragonfly, and Ladybug. A couple sources for the bee came up, as well as a stock image of the Ladybug, which unfortunately did not lead back to anything significant. Despite these finds, the Dragonfly did not come up, even through manipulating the background of the image to help modify the search results. As of right now, this is where the search stands. Significant progress has been made, but it is still not found. Regardless, the search for this stands in a better state than it ever has been, and the status of it being found is slowly looking up. Continuing and expanding upon these previous searches and leads is the most likely way to finally make this found.
The infant sensory cube from the original version of Baby Mozart is a very strange toy, as well as a fair amount of information about it with many similarities. The exact remains unfound. The toy was credited as being manufactured by Patat, but the version of it on Patat's website is not exact, with different shapes and some missing ones. Interestingly enough, a forum post from 1999 reveals that this toy was hard to find even back then, as a parent was unable to locate it in any stores after watching Baby Mozart. Very similar versions of this toy have been seen, such as one by Discovery Toys, a Sesame Street one, and other similar toys. Each one of these versions has slightly different shapes, but some of them match up to the video. One thing they all don't have in common with the exact version is that the dog seen in the video does not appear to be on any version seen of the toy so far. It's possible it's on a side that's not visible, but this is unknown either way. The reason this toy remains unfound is almost certainly because it was discontinued by Batat so quickly, as proven by the 1999 forum post. The only way that seems viable to find this toy is to look on secondhand websites such as in baby toy lots on Facebook Marketplace, as archived websites that have it listed, such as eToys and Batat itself, all have a picture of one that is not exact, and although a much more unlikely alternative, a catalog from the Right Start, where it was sold, could somehow also be found with it included in it.
We end the video the only way we can, with the Dream Tour lamp from Baby Van Gogh, easily the most significant toy left unfound. This toy has had a highly extensive search for it, and after multiple years with significant leads found, it continues to remain lost. For a while, the general consensus was that it was a customized lion tornado lamp with some purple piece of paper or plastic added at the back of it to emphasize it being for the purple music video. Looking back now, this theory didn't make any sense, as that doesn't seem realistic for them to do, nor would they have had any reason to. Plus, the bead color did not match up with any tornado lamp previously seen. Eventually, when this theory was disproved, searches began to find out exactly what this lamp was and where it was. Luckily for us, Baby Einstein seemed to have credited the toy name and manufacturer correctly, Dream Tour Lamp by New Fanciful Industrial Co., as in late 2021 a listing was found of 2 tornado lamps by New Fanciful, these ones being called Super Tornado Lamp, with different bead colors and no middle tube. This middle tube was eventually thought to be some sort of pearlescent fluid, similar if not identical to the flow motion lamps made by Kenner. Although the colors in the absence of the middle tube were different, this find helped to kickstart the search even farther, as it was clear there were many similarities between the two. The box showed a purple-colored version of the Super Tornado lamp, which is the closest thing we have to the Dream Tour lamp right now, although it's a different product and once again does not have the middle purple tube. It also mentioned that the lamp has a patent pending, and that the Dream Tour lamp is likely the motion-type tornado. The search went cold for a few months until March 25, 2022, when enthusiast Harry Jacoby somehow found the patent for the lamp. This patent dates back to 1999 and shows a lamp with a rotating tube with fluid in the middle and beads swirling around it on an outer layer. This was an incredible find, as it gave us all the details and then some of how the lamp worked. Obviously this patent is not in color, so it's hard to tell exactly what it is, but considering the other 2-layer tornado lamps are known to exist besides this, it's pretty clear that it was made as the Dream Tour lamp. A couple months after this, no additional leads have been found, so I decided to try and change that. I began by going on New Fanciful's archive website, and quickly realized this may be a dead end, as their website did not get archived until 2004, likely past when the lamp was being made, proven further by it not being mentioned anywhere on the site. Then I decided to simply look up Super Tornado Lamp in quotes on Google, seeing if it would lead me anywhere else. To put it very simply, it did. This search pulled up a website that listed some products along with it, all matching up to what I knew New Fanciful made. Most notably, it mentioned a Dream Tour table lamp, further fueling this theory. The company listed was called Lucky Straight, so I quickly went to their archived website. This website went earlier than New Fanciful's, going back to around 2001. Their website also had almost no archived images on it, which would almost certainly be a problem if something were to come up. I eventually navigated to their product showcase page and immediately had a little mini heart attack. Up came a page for the Dream Tour lamp, which could have ended this entire journey and sent the story back to the first video. However, there was no image for it, an absolute letdown considering how close I came to finding it. Despite there being no image, this still provided very valuable info, as it not only revealed the existence of Lucky Straight, who are presumably a sister company to New Fanciful, it also revealed the existence of a Dream Tour table lamp, which is just the lamp with the shade on top. This opens more possibilities, as the table lamp version could be found before the version assumed to be used in Van Gogh is. The page also clearly states how the lamp functions, which matches up with what we see of it in the video. At this point, in late May of 2022, finding the Dream Tour lamp was looking more likely than ever, with many significant leads being found in the past few months. Unfortunately, this is basically where the search stands today. Nothing has been found relating to it in over 2 years, and the search has died down significantly. There are a few different ways I could see this being found, as unlikely as it is. The first is by getting info from either New Fanciful or Lucky Straight. However, these companies have been defunct for a while at this point, so it's a lot easier said than done. Either one of these companies could have also had a presence on a Chinese wholesaling site at one point, something that could be found on the Wayback Machine. Searching it through reverse image searching methods such as Google Lens or Baidu could also prove successful. However, the most likely way that this will get found is simply by spreading the word. The main reason we're making this video in the first place is to do just that, in the hopes that you, watching this video right now, may have info on this or any other toy that you can provide to us to help it search, or maybe even engine and find it. User Slava recently made a mock-up of what a stock image of it could potentially look like, giving us our best full view of the lamp yet. So if you think you can help find this toy, or any of the others shown in this video, go for it. Try your luck at searching for any of these toys using what this video has stated, along with the information from the first video on how previous toys were found. If you can't do that, then just spread the word. It's my hope to see as many of these found as possible once this video comes out, and with your help, I really do believe that a lot of them will.